Hello, Sam Green here, providing sensible, straightforward and hopefully simple advice for small and medium-sized businesses around all sorts of subjects to do with health and safety. So today, in the next 2 to 3 minutes, I'm going to briefly run through accidents. So what is an accident? What on earth is the difference between an incident and a near miss? What do you need to do in terms of accidents at work? We're going to cover 5 simple ways or simple categories for types of accidents and quite how that helps you to decide how to approach each of those 5 levels. I've got a couple of useful links for you, which I'll also put on the article at the end. And there's a little free gift if you listen right through until the end of this video. So most people have heard the word accident, but what actually is an accident? What's the definition? So I've got a technical definition for you. It's only a short one. So essentially, an accident is an undesired, unplanned event that does result in harm. So that could be a short-term event. So most people think of something like falling off a ladder or slipping on a slippery floor. Or it could be a long-term event like exposure to noise or dust that could lead to some kind of hearing loss or tinnitus, or some kind of lung problem like a lung disease. So that's quite different to an incident. An incident is an undesired, unplanned event that didn't actually result in any harm. So other than logging that, there's not much that and just looking at what could have happened, there's not much more you need to do about an incident. So a near miss, how is that different to an incident? Well, a near miss is a previously unknown or previously unidentified procedural or operational fault that could cause an accident or an incident. So you've seen something, a missing guard, a slippery floor, nothing happened, nobody was hurt. An incident, however, might be there was a slippery floor, somebody slipped, but they didn't actually fall and hurt themselves, and an accident is a slippery floor where somebody slipped and fell and actually hurt themselves, broke their arm. Okay, so there are actually 5 levels, and really helpful and really important to list out what these 5 are, because depending on which of the 5 it is, there's a massive difference to how you might approach that. So level 1 for an accident might be insignificant, so a minor bang on the elbow, it hurts, there's no significant consequences, no first aid required. The second is something that does require first aid treatment, so a minor cut, you might need to go and see a first aider, get a plaster or dressing on that. Level 3, a bit more serious, you'd need help or treatment or advice from a health professional, so that might be a couple of stitches, you might need to go and see the doctor, you might need to go to hospital, but essentially you will fully recover from that. Number 4 level is much more serious. That means you need some extensive treatment. That might be a long-term hospital stay. The big difference between level 3 and 4, on both you'd need some medical treatment, but level 3 you'd fully recover. On level 4 you might need longer-term treatment, so you never really fully recover. And number 5 is a catastrophic illness, injury, or tragically a death. So what do you do with those? So, well, essentially, level 1's nothing. You don't need to do anything in terms of level 1s. Level 2, all you really need to do is log that in the accident book. One key point about accident books, I would very strongly recommend get the correct accident book from the government website. So that's, I'll put a full link on the article to go with this video, but that's all the w's.hsc.gov/PUBNS, so short for publications, /books, /accident-book, and then .htm. So, level 3, what do you need to do about those? Well, really at this point you start to need to have a more significant accident investigation. So that involves having a look at the accident and finding what the causes are. So there might be immediate obvious causes like the slippery floor, but there might be underlying causes like you had to get a different cleaner in that week, it could only come a different time, and then there was a wet floor whilst there were people. These causes are really not at all immediately obvious and do need some careful thought about what those might be. So level 3s need an accident investigation. That's a legal requirement, really important for levels 3, 4 and 5 that you have an accident investigation, not just to find out the causes to prevent them, but because it's a legal requirement for you to do so. We might also find that your insurers have that as a contractual requirement for you, and they'll be particularly interested that you investigate in the event that there might be, of course, a claim following a level 3, 4 or 5. So level 4, you really need an accident investigation with support from some kind of safety or health professional. That's because you'll need to consider really carefully what the causes are. Quite likely that there'll be some kind of implications in terms of lost time. That might be RID or reportable, which we'll cover in a separate video to prevent these videos being too long. And there'll likely be some kind of claim or some kind of other consequence as a result of the level 4. So someone has long-term medical needs or treatment as a result. And level 5, well, in fact, level 4, you might need support from a legal professional. So Green's partner with a fantastic legal firm in Leicester, which I'd more than happily recommend if anyone wants a recommendation. And they have a specialist legal team. And certainly for level 5, you're definitely going to want some help from a legal professional, as well as all the other things that we mentioned. So level 1, nothing. Level 2, accident book. Level 3, accident book and a brief investigation. Level 4, a supported accident investigation. And level 5, legal advice. And that builds, of course, as we work through all of those. So accident investigation really just in 3 parts, just to finish off. Gather the information. Get as much information as you can. The tendency is to want to clean everything up. It's the worst thing you can do. Keep the accident scene undisturbed. Get lots of photos, lots of measurements, lots of information. Get witness statements. Get CCTV footage. And don't worry at all about GDPR. It's more important that we comply with safety law and meet those statutory requirements there and look after people's health and or safety than it is that we share sensitive information. So we're allowed to share sensitive information with that CCTV, personal medical records, as we need to make sure we meet the legal requirements to keep everybody healthy and safe. Once you've got all of that information, pass that through to the appropriate person. Could be a manager, could be yourself, could be a safety professional like Green's Consultancy. Could be a legal professional, could be your insurance. You really need advice on who to share that information with, depending on the circumstance and what level that's at. And then finally, decide what you need to do. Do you need to review your risk assessments? Do you need to change your practices? Do you need to rip the whole floor up and put a new floor down? If that floor is slippery, you might be in breach of workplace health, safety and welfare regulations, for example. So really, certainly for levels 3, 4 and 5, you really need to get some specialist advice in from a safety advisor. So, the free gift that I promised right at the beginning, for the first 5 people to send an email through to info@greensconsultancy.co.uk will get posted to them a free accident book and also a free accident investigation form, and that sets out how you might investigate a level 2, 3 accident with just 1 page, a level 3 or 4 accident with just filling out 2 pages, or a level 4 or 5 accident where you really need to go the full way and fill out all 3 pages on there. So all the instructions are on that form as well. So that's first 5 people to email info@greensconsultancy.co.uk. As always, any questions or any ideas that you'd like to share with me about topics that would be helpful and useful, please pop those below. Depending on what platform you're watching this on, please like, subscribe, and share this with other business owners that you think just want simple, straightforward advice about the things that they really need to do in terms of health and safety compliance to give them protection and peace of mind. So my name's Sam Green, giving small businesses the green light. Thank you.